Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Goonies World. I am Meanie, also known as Ryan, and I am joined by Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello.
And Mr. Goonie, also known as Colin.
Well, hello.
And returning us to the wonderful electric Bastionland is Johnny Fabro, also known as Sean.
Hey. And that's right, we are playing Electric Bastionland by Chris McDowell. And we're using parts of an adventure written for the game Troika. That adventure is written by Ezra Clavery. And I won't bother with the recap. Listeners can go back and catch up. You are all traveling through the underground beneath the massive city of Bastion, towards the deep country, beyond the wall, hoping to beat the crypto historian Ronan Friendly to the treasure house of the late explorer Percy Butterworth, which is in a place called Plankton Downs. And you're traveling on the Slow Sledge. It's a huge electric rail car 3 stories high that rockets through the tunnels of the underground. And you have decided to go to the bar with your new friend Nambo, the octopod headfoot you met, a not-so-integrated alien with a little tentacle body clutching suckers out to a bubble helmet on top of this electric prosthetic humanoid body. And so you leave your cramped second-class quarters, which you share with Nambo, and you might recall he sprang for the extra cost of the mattresses and pillows. They were in a nickel and dime you, right? Make you pay for mattresses and pillows and towels. But he seemed like a friendly enough guy.
Real quick, before we go, can we take a short rest, just to be on the safe side?
Yeah, I think that short rests can easily be had in any non-action moment, we can assume. It's just a few moments and a swig of water. Just enough to get your bearings. So, yeah, everybody's HP should be at full, just in case something goes horribly, horribly wrong in the bar.
Yeah, I'm still down strength, but... Still not. It's not like real low or anything.
Yeah, so. And you already drank your invigorating cream soda. Yeah, you got
and then it went down again.
Yeah, but you leave the second-class car, as I say, and you head towards the rear of the sledge. And there, the bar is in a little alcove on your left. On an alcove on your right is a little cafe where you can smell some good food. There's glowing red, gold, and green lights here that give it a very intimate sort of illumination. And in the little bar, there are a few working men here in coveralls. They're bearing the logo of the Ice Miners Guild. And there's an owl mockery here made of macrame and wire. And you've been warned about him. Nambo said he was not to be trusted. But he's sitting over in one corner. He can't really drink. He's just hanging out in the bar. He has a little bag on the table with him. You do see him. And there are 2 nuns of the Martian Orthodox Church here in their intricate gold face-covering habits. They are midriff habits, the bare midriff habits.
Sexy nuns.
Yeah, but their faces are covered and everything else, but not their midriff. And those are Rasiphors. Those are the lowest of all the nuns, says Nambo as he sits down and raises him. He agreed to buy the first round. So, what will you have there? Would you have let's see, they have a lovely algae vodka, if you'd like that. Absolutely delicious. There's a hydroponic millet baijiu I can recommend. What? Quite good. And, of course, if your tastes run differently, they do have a nice selection of cannabis edibles here and some rock-hard psychedelic truffles. Or you could just order a beer, which is what I'm going to do.
Now, do these truffles make you rock hard, or are they rock hard?
No, they're rock hard. You must suck them for a long time.
Oh, okay.
They'll be very hard, and you must suck them until they become soft.
Wow, that's different.
About 8,000 self-censored jokes right there. They're just...
I was trying to... There were so many that I couldn't pick one to make.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's some juice on the inside of them, and you suck them until the juice is released, and then they'll be easier to swallow. We apologize to our listeners. We're in our 40s and 50s. This is ridiculous. And we've been making these jokes since we were 12. So They never get old.
We haven't stopped. Yeah. Funny how that works.
Yeah, I know.
Well, don't they have any smoothies or something like that?
No smoothies. You know, it's a small place, obviously. Not a lot of room, and it is a rather snug little bar, you know, being on what essentially amounts to a train. No smoothies, but I would recommend, if you're looking for something a little out of the ordinary, the millet baijiu is quite good. It's a little thick.
Well, that algae is kind of probably got a lot of nutrients, and if you're wanting a smoothie, that algae is a good pick.
Well, that was vodka, though, wasn't it? I don't want to drink alcohol.
Was it alcohol?
I thought it was vodka.
It is an algal vodka, is what it is.
No.
Well, yes, boy, come over here. Well, I'll have a beer for me, and then my friend will. I suppose you could work up a smoothie of some sort. Do you have any fruits and vegetables you could perhaps put into a blender for our friend here? Oh, good. You do that then. Well, we're in luck. And now, anyone for a psychedelic truffle?
I'm going to stay away from that. But I will have one of those vodka algae things.
Very good. Algal vodka for my good friend here. Well, I'm sorry. You know, I don't believe I ever got your names. As I say, I'm Nambo, and you, my rather tattered-looking friend, what is your name?
Well, I'm just called Lump.
Lump. Okay, very good. Lump. And you, my colorful young lady with your mini you're psychedelic enough without the truffles, aren't you?
I am, and but I would also like one, and maybe an edible too.
And what was your name again, dear?
Oh, yeah, my name is Silix.
Silix, very good. Silix and Lump,
yes.
pleasure to meet you. And you, my dapper sir?
My name is Clancy.
Clancy, very, very good. Well, while they're bringing the drinks, I don't mean to be rude or pry too much, but I can't help notice that you have a distinct chemical odor, all of you. First I thought it might be my imagination, but it's coming in through my filter here, and I'm able to smell it here within my helmet. I can't help but notice it's a formaldehyde-type odor. Is there some new perfume people are wearing now in Bastion, or what's the deal there?
Well, my regular stench is, I guess this kind of goes on top of that, but yeah, we've all been reanimated. I think we can say that. I'm not embarrassed about it. We were all dead.
Oh my. Terrible. I hope it wasn't painful.
Well, I don't actually remember. Yeah.
Well, I don't suppose it was them who did it. He points out there's a screen up above the bar. And on that screen, what they're mostly showing is schematics for the sledge. It's kind of a show-offy, sort of schematics. It shows the various systems and pipes and the layouts of the cars. And it's interspersed with ads for associated reanimators, though. And as you're watching, you actually see an ad for Ronan Friendly's Guide to the Unknown. It's a book series where you can pay a few new pounds every month to get a new book delivered to you by Ronan Friendly, the crypto historian, who happens to be the guy you're trying to beat there.
That's that guy that we're supposed to beat. Oh, that son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what are you trying to do? Where are you headed, anyway? The drinks are delivered, and you guys can sip them while you talk.
That's classified.
Oh, my. Well, this train will take us all the way out beyond the wall. So, as I say, I'm going up beyond the wall to see if I can't find a way back home. I've been here for 16 years, and I've looked all over for another space-time gate. But, well, I don't think I can give you much information about where you're going if you can't tell me. Classified shows you're on a mission. You're agents of some sort, eh?
Well,
sort of.
Secret agents. My, how
it's not
fun.
It's not for any official bureaucratic organization. It's a personal job that someone hired us for.
Oh, personal mission. Oh, I see. Well, just then, one of those ice miners walks over to the table and the coverall with his little name tag says Chuck. He says, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it over here. The word agents. And so I don't suppose, and I heard you're going out beyond the wall. I don't know how far you're traveling, but I'm looking to hire some caravan guards. If you plan on going much further beyond the wall, we're hiring some stilt lopers to get us through the bogs and the mires, and we'd love to have you, perhaps if you're the agents you say you are, we'll be going all the way to Plankton Downs, and then even further than that, we're going to the Great Glacier, and I think that's where those nuns are going too. They've got a monastery up there, but when we get there, if you decide you'd like to ride along in our stilt lopers, save yourself some time, across the acid wastes and the mires, you let me know. Don't forget, my name's Chuck.
Well, that's very nice of you to offer.
Well, you'd be doing me a favor, you know. The acid wastes are rather dangerous these days, and well, beyond Bastion, it's always dangerous. But we could always use some guards. So, hey, I'll let you get back to your drink, but don't forget to look me up. I think this journey should take, what is it, about 72 hours there? Yes, 72 hours, says Nombo. Oh, very good. Well, all right. Well, don't forget me, Chuck. Gives you a wink.
Well, I think we should take him up on that offer.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad deal to me at all.
Well, he didn't really get into the specifics on what we'd be doing. He said something about acid and all that. Oh, it's probably terribly dangerous, but, you know, we are headed to Plankton Downs.
Oh, it was Plankton Downs? You are headed to Plankton Downs, is not it?
Well, I guess it's no secret anymore.
Oh, I suppose not, but... Well, they have a great hydroponic farming community there, it's my understanding, but they are beyond the acid waste. And so, you know, also the collapsing mire I believe you would have to get through. It seems to me that just getting outside of Bastion will be just one leg of your journey. Well, so I don't suppose you'd like to eat a little bit. Is anyone feeling a little hungry? I could probably spring for a dinner over at the cafe.
Ooh, well, I'd be interested, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds lovely, thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just take a step a few feet that way, and he walks across the central aisle, you know, the other side of the train where the other alcove is, where they have the little cafe. Yes, hello, says a man in the red, gold, and green uniform of the Slow Sledge. Our special today is fowl. And we also have a crunchy bivalve salad. If you're feeling a little light, we have a good pungent dip. And of course, we do have our famous meat pie. And he points up at the menu, you know, that's on the sign over the coffee service. And it says meat pie, but it's spelled M, little m, capital E-A-T, with a little trademark sign. Meat pie. It's quite delicious. And it's on me. Order whatever you want, says Nombo.
Oh, well, don't mind if I do. Yeah, let's get one of them meat pies, a couple of meat pies.
Very good.
And some crunchy bivalve salad on the side.
Excellent. Oh yes, and Nombo says, I'll have the pungent dip, please.
Sorry, what is it that's crunchy in the crunchy bivalve salad? Is it the bivalve that's crunchy?
Oh, well, I believe it's a delicious cartilage. Cartilage.
Bivalve cartilage?
Gives it a nice... Well, bivalve is one of the many ingredients, but there's some leftover... What we'd like to do is crunch up the cartilage as best we can and sprinkle that over the top.
I'll try it.
Yes, I like to see that, says Nombo. People try anything, and pretty soon the food is brought, and he has this little hole in the top of his bubble helmet, little hatch, and he opens it up, and he just pours the pungent dip into the top of it, and it soaks down in. Delicious, and pungent as well. Well, so as you guys are enjoying your food, who's trying some of the meat pie? M-E-A-T. Anyone else? I guess you for sure, Lump.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my salad.
Yes, I will be sticking with the salad as well.
Okay. And so, while you're enjoying your salad, you notice that macrame owl a few times. He keeps looking over at you, but every now and then someone will walk up to the macrame owl's table, and he has that bag he had on the table. He's giving out candy and chit-chatting with people. But anyway, you're eating the food. You're eating the meat pie, and it's good. It tastes like meat. It tastes just like meat. And as you're eating it, Lump, though, there's a hard bit in it, you know, and you crunch down, and ooh, that's gross. You know, it's always a little bit unsettling, right, when you're having meat. First,
Lump is probably used to that, digging in the garbage for food.
But first you think it's like a bit of gristle or something. When you bite down, it's like super hard, and if you spit it out or reach your finger in there to figure, you pull out a gold tooth. It's like a golden bicuspid.
Eureka!
Oh my! Says Nambo. That's not pleasant at all. Waiter!
I keep? I know I should be upset because this don't belong in food. I don't know whose tooth this belonged to, but I won't be too upset if I can keep it.
Oh well, yes. I'm just so sorry and so embarrassed. Gold bicuspid. I don't know anyone with a gold bicuspid except for. And just then, there's like a sound of feet rushing through the cars, and you see two guards running through, and they come up to the waiter and everyone in a uniform, and they hand them each these small pistols, and they're whispering to each other. And try to other than that, go about business as usual. You can tell something's up, though. Something's obviously up. And something seems a little awry, doesn't it? Says Nambo.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
It seems they're issuing stun pistols to the crew. Oh my, drama.
That was very exciting.
I'm so
love
very
some drama.
confused as to why there would be a tooth in your meat.
I'm sorry, did you say tooth? This is a melodious voice. You look over, there's a fellow wearing the uniform of the first mate of the Slow Sledge. And he's got surprisingly hairy knuckles. That's the other thing that's really odd about the fellow. He says, "Oh, I'm. Did you say a gold bicuspid?"
Yes. Are you missing a gold bicuspid?
Well,
by chance.
Well, now, I've just been told by the macrame owl that he overheard that you were agents of some sort. Is that true?
Wow, word gets around fast. We're not any official agents.
We're free agents.
Free agents.
Perhaps that's all the better. Listen, I don't mean to pry, but I can't help but notice the scent of formaldehyde about you. I wondered, are you reanimators by any chance?
No, but we know some.
Yeah, we met some.
Well, do you know anything about death or how bodies work by any chance?
Oh, sure. I'd tell you all about my body, I guess. What do you want to know?
Well, you see... And he sits down at the table and lowers his voice. Now, we here, the crew, we're trained in some light crowd control. But we're not combatants, and we're certainly not forensic investigators. But if you wouldn't mind taking a look at something for me, I might be able to arrange for your quarters to be upgraded to first class. Is that something that would interest you?
Well, yeah. I think that sounds real great.
Well, what does first class entail exactly? Do we get free food by chance?
Well, depending on how things work out, I might be able to arrange even that. But no, not for regular people, but for agents who can be of service to the Slow Sledge line. Then I just might be able to work out. I'm so rude. My name is Ruhayan. And if you would just come with me for a moment, will you? Come with me. I'm surprised you really are agents. You know, that macrame owl is famously untrustworthy.
Well, I might have spoken out of turn when I said agent, but technically, yeah, we're working as agents of a sort.
Oh.
But I think we might be able to help you out if we can.
Well, come with me then. I'll let you go ahead and finish your food. And you're the best we've got. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. One of his knuckle hairs fell, off into your food. He picks it out. I'm so sorry. Dreadfully.
Well, everything else is going in my food.
It's dreadfully embarrassing. Just don't know what to do about this knuckle hair. Thank goodness it's not palm hair. But just come with me then, and everything's fine. Everybody back to normal. Everything's fine. Everything's just peachy. And he leads you back down past the second-class cabins and into a stairway. He has a key that opens the stairway. They're locked. It's just personnel only. We're going down to the middle deck here. This is where our crew quarters are, and our galley and our kitchens. And he leads you through some cramped hallways to what's obviously a galley. And there is a headless body in there, stuffed halfway into the scud mill, head first. As you can see, the scud mill here is what grinds up our meat. He points to a freezer. This is meat, little M, big E, little A, little T, trademark. He opens it up and he shows raccoon-sized, just looks like, hams hanging there, but there obviously never were a real animal, some kind of... it's probably not a meat substitute. It's probably real meat that's been grown in a vat.
Okay, now, first of all, did I just eat a human head?
Well, I would hate to think so, but why don't you just take a look and tell me what you think?
I think I just ate a human head. I should be barfing right now, but it's just so nice to have some food in my belly. But this ain't normal. I should, sue or something.
Oh, no. Don't forget those first class. Listen, if I'm just as upset as you are, that's why we're trying to get to the bottom of this without any undue publicity. And you just take a look and see what you think. You're agents.
I was going to say that I think Clancy would... I was gonna involuntarily vomit into the scud mill.
He just might.
But he was a fucking taxidermist, so it probably wouldn't actually do that.
That's true. If anyone knows anything about bodies, it's you. But yeah, when you look at the crew member, his head has just been shoved head first into it, and the rest of his body just kind of propped up by the pressure of the blades in the scud mill. He was a scud miller. His name was Blingy, and it doesn't look like an accident to me.
Is that why he had the gold teeth?
Well, he had the name because of the tooth, you see.
Well, I suppose we should get him out of there.
Well,
and,
wait. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he's just gonna start extracting him.
You start to extract him. Basically, his whole head has been more or less ground up by this point. His body just kind of sloughs off and falls to the ground. Oh my!
I think.
Yeah. So there's a mostly ground up head still in the mill. There's still some chunks of bone and brain matter and whatnot. But yes, you get the feeling that people, unfortunately, have probably been eating bits of that head in the meat pie. I mean, you just ordered it, and they just found his body. So,
well, it looks like we got a murder.
You think so? I don't believe it could have been an accident. He's been doing this job for years.
Yeah, murder on the Slow Sledge. We're gonna have to. This is a nice detective story. We're gonna have to solve.
I'll tell you this, I hate to say this, but there is a crew member here, Dorcas, who absolutely hated him. They were both up for the same promotion. I wonder if we shouldn't speak with Dorcas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if that's the first obvious lead, yes, I would certainly say so.
Yes.
Yes, quite.
Well, let's go back up to the bar, shall we?
Well, let me just examine the scene a little bit more. See if there's any evidence.
Please do.
Okay, now
you give it a good hard look. You look all over the place, and there actually is a bit of a sign of a struggle. The rubber mats they put on the floors, in kitchens. One of those, the one right under where he's standing, is awry. As if maybe there was a light scuffle, and there's just a bit of slime on the ground. It didn't come from him. Oh my, that's not from any of the food products, I don't believe. That's very disturbing.
Dorcas covered in slime?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Let's go speak to him.
All right.
He takes you back up to the bar, except to the bartender. You had sat at a table before, so you hadn't directly spoken to the bartender. Dorcas says, oh my, what's all this then?
Well, just a few questions, Mr. Dorcas.
Certainly. He's wiping down the bar while he talks to you with his little rag.
How long have you been on your shift?
Oh, I've been here. This is about my 4th hour. Haven't I been here for about 4 hours? And the macrame owl says, oh, yes, you've been here 4 hours, easily. The two nuns also nod.
Can't trust any of them.
Well, I hope you can trust nuns.
Well, no, that guy said that the nuns were all wicked.
Ooh, wicked nuns.
Nambo did say
Maybe you
that.
went to Catholic school or something, because sometimes people grow up and they don't like nuns because nuns used to correct them for being naughty and slap them with rulers and that stuff. So maybe he just doesn't like them.
Well, the two nuns who were there actually, they can semi-overhear this. I mean, it's not a huge bar. It's more of an alcove, like I say. But they do come over and approach. I'm so sorry, says one of the nuns. We overheard, and we understand there's something amiss here. We don't know everything. I am Rasifor Velma. This is my sister, Rasifor Louise. Rasifor is merely a rank. Don't let it scare you. No, we can assure you, and we'd be willing to swear an affidavit that good Mr. Dorcas has been here for the last 4 hours.
And he's not gone to the bathroom or disappeared for any period of time?
No, in fact, I'm dying to pee, says Dorcas.
Well, somebody did something real bad, and we're investigating it. And why don't you tell us about the meat grinder guy? What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, you mean Blingy? Oh,
yeah.
We're up for the same promotion, and he's a little butt kisser. I'll tell you that right now for sure. All right, there'll be enough of that, says First Mate Rukhayan. No, he's a little butt kisser. But why do you ask? Has something terrible happened to Blingy?
We're not at liberty to say right now.
But the way you sounded so pleased that something terrible might have happened to him was a bit suspicious.
I'm pleased that I will get a promotion if something bad has happened to him. We're the only two qualified candidates. But no, I would never stoop to doing anything rash or improper. Has something rash or improper happened to Blingy? He says, and you just can't help but smile.
What do you think about slime?
Slime? I'm sorry, did you say slime? Says Rasifor Velma. There was a bit of slime that we saw, and we reported earlier to the first mate here. We thought perhaps it was some engine grease. By the time we got to where they said they saw it, someone had cleaned it up. Yes, but one of our sisters was saying there's a rather foul odor coming from the gender-neutral bathroom just right at the end of the hall, and that's where we saw the slime.
Well, we're going to have to go investigate that slime.
we're so sorry about the terrible odor, says First Mate Ruchayan.
What kind of odor did you smell?
Well, says Razafor Velma, I can only describe it as somewhat necrotic.
Oh.
Smell of death.
I hope it wasn't them reanimators coming for us. But I don't know why they would kill Blingy. I said it out loud again. I guess the secret's out.
Now my Blingy's been killed.
Yeah. Somebody shoved his head into the whatever that gizmo is.
Good God, says the macrame owl, who comes waddling with his weird gait up to where you're standing. You know, I was sent back in time to prevent something terrible from happening, and, well, this must not be it, or I would have succeeded in preventing it, but I hate to see this. I knew Blingy. We had a card game going. We played Hot Murder every night at midnight.
Yeah.
Somebody played Hot Murder with him just a moment ago.
Somebody took it literally and killed him.
Well, I'm quite knowledgeable in many subjects. If you have any questions later in the course of your investigations, I will be happy to help you, says the macrame owl.
One of us.
Nambo, meanwhile, shaking his head from behind.
I refuse to make a mockery of this investigation.
Oh, jolly good. Nice one.
One of us is a stone-cold killer. One of us here in this alcove.
Dun dun dun. Everybody looks back and forth at each other. Well, there are quite a lot more people on the train.
Yeah, I was just being dramatic.
It's not even technically a train, but I'll probably keep calling it that. You know, it's not like a whole bunch of cars. It's just one big. But, well, if you'd like to check out that bathroom, it's just right down there.
Yeah, this is exciting. We might solve a murder, or we might get murdered ourselves. Either way, it's exciting.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Well, when you go down to the end of the car, it's the bathroom's right before the observation deck where you have to go smoke. And there's nothing to see on the observation deck because you're rocketing through tunnels, right? But every time you do look out a window, there are weird lights occasionally in the underground. And now, when I say tunnels, they're not like carved-out tunnels. There's like bits of submerged and sunken ruins on either side of you that you can sometimes see. But people do live in the underground, and the occasional lights. But mostly there's nothing to see from the observation deck, for sure. But you look in to the bathroom, and there's 3 stalls in here. They're floor-to-ceiling, doors on the stalls. We had those installed when the new gender-neutral bathroom laws came out, says Ruchayan. But that one person, they seem to have been in there quite a while. There's definitely an odor. And yeah, you smell like a pretty, a nasty odor. It's a little pungent, a little necrotic. Might be a good way to explain it. And, well, I'm going to leave you to your investigations. I'm going to go talk to the captain, let him know that the situation's under control. I'm going to shave my knuckles, and then I'll come check on you. I have to shave them 7 times a day.
TMI.
That seems like a lot of time to spend on hairy knuckles.
Oh, it is. It's quite cut into my reading time. Well, he leaves you guys alone there in the bathroom. You have the 3 closed stalls, nasty smell. What do you do?
Is there, are they closed stalls?
Yeah, they're like floor-to-ceiling closed stalls, too. Like, you couldn't peek under or anything, because, for privacy's sake.
Well, maybe it's just somebody that ate something, like I ate that human head. Maybe they ate a little bit of the human head, but maybe this was before that. I don't know. I guess we should, I don't know if they're occupied or not. Anyone in there?
Yes, I suggest we knock on each stall door and see if we can rouse somebody.
Okay, well, you knock on 2 of them, and they're not really locked, so they just, slide open. But the 3rd one's locked, but no one answers. And the smell, you do feel, is kind of more localized from there as well. So someone's going to have to give that a good hard shove if they want that to open.
Well, we got forks aplenty to poke at the door.
Jimmy the lock with the fork. Why don't you go ahead and try that? Now, you're not at very much risk, but I would like to see you make a dex save as you try to do that. Usually we only roll when there's risk involved. But just to roll some dice, since we are technically playing a game, let's go ahead and roll that and see what happens. You make your dex or less on a d20.
I got right on it.
Well, you get right on it. And so as you open it, it opens rather suddenly, and so you avoid slipping on the slime that's covering the entire floor. And there is a dead body in there. It's one of the nuns. But her habit has been ripped off, you know, so you see where her head would be, and most of her head is still there. But it's a horror show. If this were Warhammer, you'd be rolling for, you know, insanity points right now. Because it appears, and of course this is something that Clancy would notice before you guys, because he had a little bit more knowledge of anatomy. I mean, animal anatomy and human anatomy are similar enough, you know, in terms of major bones and whatnot. But it appears someone has hacked out the maxilla, or the upper jawbone, from the head of this nun. The entire upper jawbone is missing. And there's a trail of slime going up the wall. And there's a vent. Like for ventilation. And it's right at that vent, like something crawled into it. But it's been closed and it's screwed tight.
What?
Yeah.
This can't be good.
I know.
Somebody hacked off the jaw, took it with them, and then screwed in the vent. I don't know how that could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard for a person couldn't even fit in that vent. Not a full-size person.
Yes, I think we might be dealing with some sort of slime monster.
Well, it didn't even have to. It probably just came out the vent because it's made of slime, right? It didn't even need to unscrew it or anything.
Oh, well, maybe that's true. Yeah.
I don't know if there's only someone knowledgeable who you might be able to ask about this. You haven't heard of anything like it at all. Maybe a rumor that's on the edge of your memory. Maybe you've read about something like this in one of Bastion's thousands of newspapers, but you know, maybe there's a knowledgeable person that you could talk to. See if you can learn any more about, you know, especially the missing jaw. That's the oddest part. I mean, who would hack out, and it looks hacked out like with a blade or an axe. You know, there's like chunks and bits, and after that, it's just been like ripped out. Just the upper jaw.
Well, I think that one thing that we need to do is talk with our nun friends out there, and like how many of them were there? Are they missing a friend? Don't you think it's odd when they were telling us this story that they didn't say one of our nun friends is missing? I don't know, but I think perhaps we should talk to them.
Yes, that does seem a bit odd, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, once you, you know, the bar's not far away. You know where Res for Velma and Res for Louise were. But you go back and talk to them and say, "What did you find out?" says Velma.
You got a one of you that is missing?
I don't know off the top of my head. There are 21 of us traveling aboard the sledge. Louise, why don't you rush off and see if anyone's missing? And Louise does that. In the meantime, the macrame owl waddles over. Don't suppose you'd like to have a treat? I don't eat myself, but I went to a mockery conference, and they were giving out candy to the humans who were there. Would you like a treat?
We're not supposed to trust you, but I really want a treat.
Oh, who told you that, Nombo? Told you can't trust me, eh?
Yeah, I was Nombo.
Preposterous. I'm an owl. I know everything. He's just jealous because I've beaten him in a game of hot murder that we used to play with poor Blingy.
So you all had a game of hot murder.
Yes, we did.
And then there was a real hot murder. It's very suspicious.
It is very suspicious. What did you find in the bathroom? I'm dying to know, says the macrame owl.
everyone's asking all these questions. We ought to keep it close to us. We can't give out details because we want to know. I mean, there's things only the murderer would know.
Oh, well, I'm not the murderer.
Well, yes, but this is an active investigation. And
Yeah.
it's not procedure to share
Well, I might
our
be able to
findings.
I understand, but I might be able to help. You know, I know much. I'm very wise. I am an owl, sort of.
Well, how is your knowledge on slimes and things that excrete slime?
I happen to have an encyclopedic knowledge of various slimes, molds, and funguses. If I could see the slime, perhaps I could give you some more information.
Well, I was going to say a smart-ass thing about plural of fungus being fungi, not funguses, but I guess you don't know everything.
Well, I'm using the New Caledonian lexicon.
Oh, well, I don't know nothing about that. I'm just a lump.
Yes, you're just a lump, but a fine lump you are. Now, I suppose I could take a look at the slime if it'd make you feel better.
I
Well,
suppose we could, bring him a sample of the slime from one
well,
of
we
the
should have taken
scenes.
we're just amateurs. We should have taken a sample of the slime right when we were in there the first time. But I guess we ought to do that.
So you want to bring him down there, or you just want to go get a sample of the slime and bring it back?
Let's go get a sample.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And of each from the bathroom and from the meat thingy.
okay. Well, you run off and do that. By the time you get back, Reservoir Louise has returned. Just before you show him that, actually, two of our sisters are missing. Reservoir Garcia is missing. No one's seen her for several hours now. And then they say that poor little Reservoir Marie went to the bathroom and never returned.
Yeah. Okay.
So the owls are, so it's a nun. A dead nun. You've got a dead nun in the bathroom, haven't you?
Just keep it down. We don't want to panic.
This is an active investigation, and we're not able to share details at this time.
Yeah, but this Marie, was that her name?
Yes, her name was Marie, and she's beginning to cry now. You can tell from behind her veil.
Any reason why anyone would want her dead?
No, absolutely not. We were just on our way to our monastery. It's on top of the South Glacier, beyond the ice mines. And she was very much looking forward to it. You know, I can't speak to Reservoir Garcia either. She was the newest member, but she seemed quite solid, and we don't know where she is. Oh, I hope she's not dead too.
I hope we don't have another murder.
So let's take a look at that slime then, says the macrame owl. Yes. Rather ectoplasmic, isn't it? Don't suppose would you, one of you with taste buds, mind just giving it a little taste?
Hard pass.
Hard pass?
It's real tempting.
Oh, I certainly couldn't possibly do it. So I'm afraid it's down to you, Mr. Lump.
It's like I have this bad habit of where I see something that I know I shouldn't eat, but and I'm not going to eat it, but, I put it in my mouth. It's just, living on the street, you see, you don't know what's going to keep you going, and you resort to all kinds of gross stuff.
Well, I'm just very curious, as the owl, as to whether or not it has a salty flavor. Is it extremely salty? Do you mind just giving it a quick taste? Just a bit on your tongue.
Okay.
Ew, say the nuts. Yeah, it's like super salty. Like all the moisture in your mouth just like disappears instantly.
That is really salty. Yeah.
Oh my. Well, I only know one thing that leads to the salty slime, but I have another question for you, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, it's a closed investigation, but I don't suppose you found maxillary bone missing.
Well, since you guessed correctly, I guess we have to tell you. I mean, that is very specific, and
Yes.
can't deny it. That was hacked out of her skull.
Hacked out, you say? Oh my. Well, listen. Now, I know your friend Nombo there would tell you not to trust me, but I'm widely read, and I believe it's possible we could be looking at a... And he looks both ways and leans in all conspiratorially. A maxillary usurper. What, you've never heard of a maxillary usurper? No?
I'm pretty sure that's in my book of mythical animals that don't actually exist.
Well, you will find it in some tomes, and I believe Ronan Friendly has discussed them in his Mysteries of the Unknown series. But no, a maxillary usurper, they masquerade as regular folk, you see. Not the way I do. I was made of macrame and wire. This is a creature of some sort, and they masquerade as regular folk, but they must replace their rotting upper jaws every few hours, or they develop a terrible withdrawal. Their bodies are made of a very squishy cartilage, and they sweat and exude this extra salty slime. At least this is what they say. Now, some say they're aliens, and that gravity has absolutely no effect on them, so they must be anchored to the ground with special shoes. And, let's see. Oh, yes, and, the only thing that can hurt them is, Exiplex laser, for removal of unwanted hair. And they can't abide cilantro at all. They hate it. Now, whether or not he knows what he's talking about, or whether he's just bullshitting you can't quite get a handle on. But he did make a good guess about that jaw.
And I heard something that made me pay attention. Something about unwanted hair that the laser take care of.
Yes, that's correct. It's the only thing that can hurt them. Oh, yes.
Well, we know somebody's got excess hair on their knuckles.
Oh, perhaps he has an Exiplex laser he may be willing to lend you.
Perhaps, yes, that would be ideal.
But as I say, I believe that's their only weaknesses are the Exiplex laser and cilantro.
Cilantro, yeah. Maybe, is there any of that around, I wonder?
Well, I imagine the cafe would probably have access to some cilantro, or the kitchen. You might check in with your good first mate Ryan there. But do keep me involved, keep me abreast, keep me in the loop. I love collecting new knowledge and information.
Now, can I have a treat?
Of course you may have a treat.
I wonder, if you would like to know some interesting statistics about crime solving, and often the perpetrator inserts themselves into the investigation, and they might have knowledge that only the murderer would know.
Oh my, I see where you're getting at.
Yes, do you? I hope so.
I've been here for 4 hours. I'm his alibi. He's my alibi. Dorcas over there.
Yeah, the two suspects are each other's alibis. That's a red flag.
Well, we were here too, says Resfort Thelma. Now, I hope that Resfort Garcia is okay.
Where was she last seen?
Resfort Garcia, I honestly can't remember. It was such a confusion getting on and getting ourselves all crammed into those second-class passages. Did you say that the slime went to a vent? Did I overhear you say that?
No, you're the murderer. No, we probably, I don't know.
Well, I was just going to suggest that if you can figure out where that vent goes, then that might be a good step.
Yeah, we ought to check and see where it goes. That we might find them hiding out there.
Well, just then, your attention is drawn to that screen above the bar. Another ad comes on. Hello, I'm Ronan Friendly. Looks kind of like the guy who plays Littlefinger on Game of Thrones. He's like, I'm Ronan Friendly. I'd like to take you into the mysteries of the unknown. For only £13 per month, we will send you a new volume of my adventures and explorations. And the ad ends, but then it goes back to, if you'll recall, the schematics. They show all the piping and vents and everything else on the. And if you take a look at that, you can see the vent clearly. That vent from the bathroom's clearly down to the engine room on the lowest deck, where there's a exhaust vent and an exhaust pump down
there. About that treat, mouth is watering pretty good for that.
Dorcas, let me take care of you. They give you treats, of course. Or Macrame Owl gives you all a treat if you want one. It's like a Jolly Rancher sort of candy. And but Dorcas, go ahead and have a good drink of water on the house. Ruchayan says, so, do you want me to let you into the engine room to take a look?
Do we want to investigate the engine room?
I think we probably do, yeah.
Yeah, if that's where the vent goes, it makes perfect sense.
It does. It seems like a very, very obvious next step. Almost too obvious, says Nambo, who's still sitting over in a corner. Be careful.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to collect or get before you go down into the engine room?
Yeah, let's get that. See that, the hairy knuckle. Who's that guy?
That's Ruchayan, he's standing right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we were wondering if you had one of them lasers for hair removal.
What? Oh, he looks a little embarrassed, looks down at his hands. I'm afraid those are rather pricey. I use just a regular straight razor.
Well, can we see the refrigerator in the kitchen then? Perhaps we could find some cilantro. Or coriander, that's what I would call it.
Cilantro or coriander. Yeah, we have excellent selection of that. Come down this way. And he takes you back down to the middle deck and into the kitchen. You guys can grab, pockets full of cilantro or coriander, whatever you'd like to call it. And, okay. Now, the engine room, it can get fairly dark down there, and it may be rather cold, but come this way. And he takes you back to that, employees-only stairway and down one more deck to the lower decks. The engineering deck. He stays with you here, Ruchayan does. And it's a huge single space. The middle deck and the upper deck are chopped up into lots of small rooms and hallways. But this is just a great big open empty space. Let you see how big the sledge really is. And this huge single space is dominated by the electric drive engine and rail grips, which are things that grip the monorail rail this thing rides around on. The rail grips are in these cage-like housings along the sides. And there's just a dim red light in here. And there's some racks of tools and spare parts hanging from the bulkheads. And you can look around a little bit. Lots of places to hide in a place like this. So I'll assume you peek around and look around, but it doesn't take long before you find, you've seen the schematics, and you see where many vents are channeled into one great vent that blows out into the exhaust. And you can see there's slime all over the floor there. And just when you're looking at the slime, you are completely surprised when a nun leaps out at you. She's holding an adze, A-D-Z-E. It's like an axe, except the blade is like perpendicular to the handle. It's got a little hammer thing on one side. And she leaps out. You can't see her face because she's wearing the veil. But there's blood running down the front of it, going down in between her breasts and onto her bare midriff. She's completely surprised all of you. And which would you say is like probably the best fit for her? I'm going to guess probably, and she wants a human, so it's probably going to be Clancy. And she just whacks Clancy in the head with the adze, not the axy part, but the blunt part, and does 4 points of damage to you. And now you guys can act. Ruchayan faints. He has full-on faints. And that's where you find yourself. The nun says nothing at this point, but maybe she is, Rasfor Garcia. They did say she was the newest member of their group. What do you do, Clancy? We'll let you go first since you just got brained with the freaking ads.
Clancy's going to take a few steps back and pop a shot at her with
with his
He is wildly inaccurate.
wildly
pistol.
inaccurate double barrel. Boom, 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 boom. Bullets fly, and of course, if Ruchayan wasn't passed out, he was like, "Wait, be careful!" But you fire and go ahead and roll your damage on her.
That will be 6 points.
Oh my! Nicely done. And she staggers back, cries out, and part of the veil, as she staggers back, the veil lifts up for a second, and she's got this really badly fitting upper jaw. And she's "Get your fat," she says. She can't speak very well because of the ill-fitting upper jaw. "You'll be a much better fit," she says. And what do you two guys do? And I forgot an important part of this system is when you're all attacking the same person, you all roll, and it's the highest roll that counts. The same thing that would happen if you guys, were ganged up on. But we're going to give Clancy that first nice shot. If you two want to attack her, go ahead and both roll, and we'll pick your highest damage to apply to her.
I mean, I wanting to do something that's not. I don't know if it'll cause damage or not.
Well, what do you got in mind?
I want to take a pinch of the cilantro and blow it on her.
And backs up, like a vampire has just seen a cross. Okay, and now both of your attacks will be enhanced, meaning you'll roll a d12 for damage regardless of what weapon you're using. So both of you roll if you want to attack her now. And
I got a natural 20, so I don't know.
well, you don't have to roll to hit. You just want to roll a d12.
Oh, d12.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, enhanced attacks are d12s and impaired attacks are d4s, no matter what weapon you're using. It's kind of like an advantage or disadvantage system, but you definitely have an advantage now that you've blown that cilantro in the face of what must be a maxillary use slurper.
So, when you say the highest roll...
When you and Lynn both roll, I will choose the highest, and that's the damage that will be done to her. That's how we do it when we're attacking the same opponent.
I got an 8 for my damage.
I got an 11.
Well, we're going to go with that 11. Now, the maxillary usurper, as you know, has already taken 6. Now, her habit does give her 1 point of armor. Let's not forget you guys have armor as well. But that shot was so good, she staggers backwards. She's going to have to make a roll to see... Oh, my God. Rather anticlimactically, she crumbles backwards, hits the back of her head on the great big electric drive engine, and this ill-fitting upper maxillary bone just pops right out of her head, lands on the ground, boom, 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 on the deck. And she twitches a few times. She's dying. And that's where you got. You guys can dispatch her if you like. Or just let her slowly die.
I think we should dispatch her.
Yeah, dispatch.
What do you think, Clancy?
Well, Clancy was thinking that it would, if we just booted her out of the sledge, it's the chances of anybody coming to her aid.
Well, that's
really
very true.
slim.
And there's cage-like housings along the sides of the grips. I won't try to explain. There are like wheels that grip onto the sides of the rail, and those are semi-open, and they need to open those cages to be able to get in there and do maintenance and whatnot. And they're not locked, they're latched. But you could open one of those and just toss her right out under the sledge, onto the rails.
Yeah. Get this nasty slime usurper off of the sledge, slow sledge.
Let's search her first, and we definitely need to keep the jawbone for evidence.
Yeah, that one's popped out, so that's good. You can pull that up off the floor. The only thing that, if Razafor Garcia, who this must be, this maxillary usurper, the only thing that they have, aside from the habit, which is blood stained, is the noble adds. It does D8 damage. Whether or not you had. Luckily, you never got. Well, only Ryan got hit with it, but none of the rest of you did. And if somebody wants to take that, it might be useful for ice climbing if you ever need to get into something like that. by any weird chance in the future.
Yeah. I mean, now that you mention that.
Now that I mention that, you know there's a glacier in the south and some ice mining, and they've got a monastery. But you've also heard about acid wastes and mires. You don't know what to expect when this trip is over. But luckily, you're able to wake up First Mate Ruchayan. And you know what? He's as good as his word. And he upgrades you guys to first-class cabins. And that night, Nambo treats everyone to a lovely dinner, although you notice no one orders the meat, M-E-A-T. Everybody goes for the crunchy bivalve salad and the pungent dip instead.
I wonder why.
But, the crew have to explain to everyone what happened, and so there's a meeting in the club car. But you guys are hailed as heroes, and for taking care of the situation rather handily, too. The big lump on your head is taken care of with a little iodine, and they give you a little bandage for your head, Clancy.
I'm not on his head.
Yeah, got a lump, a nice big lump. Anyway, but and as it turns out, you do eat free on the rest of the journey. And the rest of the journey, luckily for you, passes without incident. And after about 72 hours, the sledge emerges from the underground into the gray light of dawn. And you can look up out of the observation car. Behind you is the wall of Bastion. And this wall has got to be like half a mile high, and people live on the wall. Like they've built up dwellings on the wall on top of each other. It's amazing. But we'll investigate the world beyond the wall of Bastion on the next phase of our journey deeper into the odd next time.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.